Coronation Street's Todd goes to the police as Theo abuse horror reaches breaking point. Todd Grimshaw finally reaches a devastating turning point in Coronation Street next week, as he makes the life-changing decision to report Theo Silverton to the police after enduring months of abuse and fear. In harrowing scenes, a bloodied and shaken Todd arrives at the police station and confides in Lisa Swain and Kit Green, revealing the full extent of Theo's violent and controlling behavior. But while Todd is finally ready to tell the truth, the big question is whether the police will be able to stop Theo in time, or whether he will disappear before justice can catch up with him. According to Soap Insiders, Theo knows the walls are beginning to close in around him. Now that Todd has found the strength to speak out, there is nowhere left for Theo to hide. However, slipping away quietly may no longer be so easy, especially once word starts spreading around Weatherfield about what Todd has really been suffering behind closed doors. And given everything viewers already know about Theo, there is every chance he will do whatever it takes to stay in control. The week begins with Summer Spellman still haunted by Carl Webster's suggestion that someone other than Debbie may have been responsible for Billy Mayhew's death. Unable to shake the suspicion, Summer decides to take matters into her own hands and confront Theo directly, determined to question him about what really happened during Billy's final moments. But instead of answers, she makes an even more disturbing discovery. Theo and Todd are now rushing ahead with their plans to leave for Belfast. Even more alarmed than before, Summer later meets Todd in the Rovers and confides in him that she fears Theo may have actually killed Billy. Whether Todd is willing or emotionally able to believe such a chilling accusation remains to be seen. After hearing that Theo and Todd could be leaving sooner than expected, Sarah Platt quickly updates George Shuttleworth on the worrying situation. Together with Summer, the pair head over to Todd's flat in the hope of checking on him. But instead of seeing Todd, they are met by Theo speaking to them over the intercom. Theo calmly claims that he and Todd are already on the road to Belfast and spins a lie that Todd is currently paying for petrol, meaning he cannot come to the phone. In reality, Todd is still trapped inside the flat, locked away in his bedroom while Theo refuses to let him out. Eventually, Todd manages to persuade Theo to release him temporarily so he can contact Sarah himself and help prove that they really are traveling. Terrified and under pressure, Todd goes along with Theo's version of events and successfully convinces Sarah that the move is happening exactly as claimed. Soon afterwards, Theo heads off for a shower, and for Todd, it becomes a crucial moment. With Theo briefly distracted, Todd makes a dangerous attempt to flee the flat and escape before it is too late. At the same time, Sarah and Kit are at home when they suddenly hear a knock at the door. Someone unexpected has arrived, but who is it? Later in the week, Todd finally finds the courage to take a stand and formally report Theo to the police for assault, as well as the ongoing emotional and physical abuse he has been forced to endure. In especially heartbreaking scenes, Todd is covered in blood as he speaks to Kit and Lisa, making it painfully clear just how badly he has suffered. Viewers can expect the scenes to be deeply upsetting, but also incredibly powerful, as Todd at last begins to reclaim his voice. Now the focus turns to whether Theo can actually be held accountable. With his mask slipping and his behavior exposed, Theo becomes increasingly desperate to get out of Weatherfield before the situation closes in on him completely. But as the truth spreads rapidly across the cobbles, the question is whether Theo will end the week in handcuffs or somehow manage to escape before anyone can stop him. Todd Grimshaw goes to the police over Theo in powerful Coronation Street episode. Still shaken by Carl's claim that someone other than Debbie may have been to blame for Billy's death, Summer decides to confront Theo herself and demand answers about what really happened in Billy's final moments. But instead of getting clarity, she is hit with another shock when she discovers that Theo and Todd are making plans to leave for Belfast. Later, While sharing a drink with Todd, Summer opens up about her growing belief that Theo may actually be the one responsible for Billy's death. The accusation leaves Todd deeply unsettled, forcing him to process yet another disturbing possibility about the man controlling his life. Alarmed by what Summer has learned, Sarah updates George, and the two of them join forces with her in an effort to get through to Todd before it is too late. However, Theo quickly blocks their attempt. Using the Ring doorbell, he feeds them a carefully crafted lie, claiming that he and Todd have already set off for Belfast and that Todd is currently busy paying for petrol. Back inside the flat, Todd tries to claw back some control over the terrifying situation. He manages to persuade Theo to let him phone Sarah himself, supposedly to back up the story and reassure her that everything is fine. Although Todd succeeds in convincing Sarah that nothing is wrong, he is secretly waiting for the right moment to act. When Theo heads off for a shower, Todd realizes it may be his only chance and makes a desperate attempt to escape. But whether he actually manages to get out remains uncertain. Elsewhere, back at Red Bank, Sarah is in the middle of speaking with Kit when the intercom suddenly goes off. Someone is at the door, but who has turned up? Unfortunately, spoiler pictures appear to suggest that Todd's escape attempt may not go to plan. In a gripping standalone episode, Todd finally reaches breaking point and decides to take action, reporting Theo to the police for assault and opening up to Lisa and Kit about the months of coercive and abusive behavior he has endured. At the same time as news of Theo's violent behavior begins to spread around Weatherfield, he becomes increasingly aware that the walls are closing in. Knowing he may soon be exposed, Theo grows more desperate than ever to get away. Meanwhile, Sarah becomes convinced that the key to bringing him down could lie on Theo's tablet, which may contain crucial video evidence. Determined to find proof, she takes matters into her own hands and searches Theo's van for the device. She eventually finds what she is looking for, but her risky decision could end up making an already volatile situation even more dangerous. Later on, George offers to go with Todd back to the flat so he can collect his belongings and begin moving forward. But when the buzzer suddenly sounds, Todd is instantly overwhelmed with fear. Panicking, he breaks down in tears and runs. Back at number 11, Christina and Mary try to comfort him and help him feel safe. Yet it is only when Summer wraps her arms around him that the true physical impact of Theo's abuse becomes heartbreakingly clear, as Todd visibly flinches in pain. Now, as the truth finally starts to emerge, the question remains, is this truly the end of Theo's control over Todd, or is there still more horror to come? Coronation Street airs unexpected Ben and Steve twist in early ITVX episode. Coronation Street delivered another surprising turn in the Ben Driscoll and Steve McDonald storyline, following the recent revelation that Maggie once had an affair with Jim McDonald, meaning Ben and Steve are actually half-brothers.